All right, guys, I think we're live. So I'm going to give this a little bit of a couple minutes to make sure people are joining, just so I know I'm not talking to only myself here. But it appears we are live. We have a couple different things to discuss today. So another week full of information about the C8 Corvette Z06 and even the C8 Corvette in general. So there's a lot to discuss here. Like I said, guys, we have a good bit of information to go over. So whether you're waiting for the C8 or the C8 Z06, either way, this is going to apply to you. So if you're a Corvette fan, stay tuned. We're going to talk about pretty much nothing but Corvettes today. So let's jump into it. The very first thing is something that's really interesting to me because I actually had a subscriber reach out to me and they offered me a piece of information that is interesting. So you guys might have seen something on the CorvetteBlogger.com website recently, which is kind of a weird piece of information to be on there, and it was actually talking about the front bumper. So one of my subscribers actually emailed me and found a front bumper from a C8 Corvette Z06 for sale, and they bought it. Now, what's interesting about this is obviously they're buying a bumper, an entirely intact bumper, from a car that's not even available yet. So yeah, pretty interesting. But I'm going to flip you around here and I'm going to show you a little bit of the information that I'm talking about because it's interesting, like I said. So like I said there in the beginning, the Corvette enthusiast bought this C8 Corvette Z06 front fascia, and we have a lot of questions. So kind of like what I was just saying, it is quite interesting here, because you can tell that is from a C8 Corvette Z06. What's really interesting about this is the car's not available. How the heck did somebody get the front bumper off of the car and let alone sell it? Now, like I said, it's one of my subscribers that actually bought it, and he reached out to me before reaching out to Corvette Blogger and wanted to know if I wanted to buy it. Now, I personally have absolutely no use for a Z06 front bumper, so I declined, but I said contact Corvette Blogger because worst case scenario, they'll find you a buyer. Now, guys, like I said, there's a lot of information we're going to be talking about today, but this one struck me as kind of odd, so I felt like I wanted to include this. What's up, everybody? I appreciate all of you joining in. I'm going to say hi to Mike Matarazzo. He's on here again. I literally get more support from my freaking car salesman than almost anybody. I love it. So Mike Matarazzo is on the chat, guys. He's going to confirm some of this information for you guys because he's in the know. See what else we got. Revo Lee saying hello. How you doing? Thank you so much for tuning in. Shane, thanks for tuning in, man. I think it was you saying you're finally here for the beginning of one. Frank Smoke, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it so much, guys. Richard says hit that like button, folks, and I agree with Richard. Guys, if you could, smash that thumbs up button. You're going to hear me say that a million times throughout this live video because it really does help the channel. So please hit that thumbs up button. I would greatly appreciate it. Brian Hernandez, how you doing, man? Thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate all you guys. I know I've said this 100 times, but I really do appreciate you guys tuning in. It really helps the channel, and I love talking C8 stuff with you guys. So gigantic, big thumbs up to all you guys. And Richard's the first one of the day already with a super chat. Guys, again, the super chats really help the channel. They really, really help the channel grow. And Richard hits up the Horsepower Obsessed channel with the first one of the night. I appreciate that so much, Richard. Thank you. Shane says, Mike Matarazzo, please respond to email when you're available. So, Mike, Shane has an email out there for you, probably looking to buy a car. That's awesome. Brian says, I wanted to place an order today for the Z06, and it's 3 to 4 years. They're already placing orders for the ZR1. That sounds about right, Brian. At this point, if you have not placed an order with, well, you can't officially place an order, but if you haven't gotten on some sort of list for the Z06 by now, you're probably not going to get one very early on. Richard says he's got to support the channel. I greatly appreciate that, Richard. You honestly, you have no idea how far the donations like that go to help supporting this channel. So I appreciate that very much. Revo says, I just want a Stingray and I've waited a year so far. So we're actually going to talk about that, Revo. There's a little bit of information coming today that's about the C8, not just the Z06. But we're going to go through this a little bit more here, guys. So like I said, this was offered to me by a subscriber before anything else, and that is the front bumper to a C8 Corvette Z06. Now, what's interesting about this one is it actually has a carbon fiber front lip, carbon fiber side dive planes, but there is also an exposed carbon fiber radiator grille guard. So you can see that slash that goes right through the center of the side radiators is actually carbon fiber. Now, again, it kind of looks like this bumper might not be painted, which makes this whole thing even weirder. How this person managed to obtain this thing is beyond me, but let's read down through here. So they say what you're looking at is the front fascia from a 2023 Corvette Z06, complete with a visible carbon fiber splitter, canards, and even the grille inserts that we were just talking about. A lot of these pictures are apparently posted on the mid-engine Corvette forum as well. This isn't the first time a pre-production Z06 part has been offered for sale. We saw the visible carbon fiber wheels before. Regardless, the Z06 fascia was originally acquired. We can see that the visible carbon fiber grille will be integrated into the front fascia. So these are similar to what is offered on the C8 Corvette, but it's a little bit of a bigger extended visible carbon fiber piece there right across that front radiator. It looks really good on this bumper. I really like that a lot. So scrolling down through, you guys, I'm just going to kind of show you the pictures here. So apparently the side canards were not visible carbon fiber. They're just the painted carbon flash, which is definitely interesting. I highly doubt that's going to be an option to get those in carbon flash with everything else in carbon fiber. So this is probably an early pre-production model bumper if I had to guess. But that's pretty much it, guys. So like I said, a subscriber contacted me and wanted to sell me this, or sell in general. They wanted to know what the value, I thought the value of this would be. I honestly have absolutely no idea what something like that would be valued at, because in order to give it a value, I have to know who you'd be marketing that to, and there's basically nobody that would want that without having that actual car, because you can't just slap that on a C8 Corvette and call it a day. It is extremely, it's like 3 inches wider, so there's no way it's going to bolt on without some other mods. But anyway, that's all for that one. So we have another couple things to go through here, guys. Like I said, there's a lot of C8 stuff to talk about today. So I'm going to go through the comments here real quick, make sure I'm not missing anything. I see a bunch of guys talking over here. Wow. So Brett Skinner in the comment section says that his dealership already has pre-allocations for the C9. That's insane. That is insane. Brian Hernandez says, Michael Matarazzo, do you have a list for the ZR1? That's a good question, Mike. I don't know how crazy you guys are getting up there yet, but let's see what else. I'm on the list for the Stingray, and it's 1 to 2 years. Wow. Red Stingray Corvette. What dealership are you on the list, or are you waiting for a C8 from? Michael Matarazzo says, no, we don't even know if it will be called a ZR1 or the E-Ray will be next. Yeah. So I'm still kind of on the idea, I guess, that the E-Ray's next, and then after the E-Ray, we're probably going to get the Zora. I don't think we're going to get a ZR1 this time around. Frank Smoke says, I hate the fact that I have to get a Z06 from GM, so irresponsible company offering more than they can accomplish. You know, Frank, I agree to an extent, but the problem is that this is basically the world we live in at this point. Everything seems to be delayed. Everything seems to be more expensive than it used to be. Everything just seems to be going up, so it's unfortunate. But 11 Second Eclipse wants to know how much this bumper sold for. I don't think they actually said. The original buyer declined my original offer of $2,000. I thought I would throw out an offer of $2,000 and see if he'd take it. He said he paid more than that for it. So the original selling price of this bumper was more than $2,000, but I don't think it says in here what he actually paid. So this is just saying that the carbon fiber options on the Stingray cost that much. That's not telling you how much the bumper actually was. So I don't think we're going to get a price on that, but I know it was more than $2,000. So Michael Matarazzo says, no, we do not overpromise and collect people's money. So guys, this is one of the biggest reasons why I do business with Click Lewis in Palmyra, Pennsylvania, is because of the fact that they will not put you on a fake list and take your money to get on that list because that list does not officially exist until GM tells them how many allocations they're getting. So they're not going to put you on a list and get your hopes up and take your money and put it in a savings account and earn interest on it while they're waiting to hear from GM officially on whether or not they're even going to get an allocation. And I think that's really awesome. There's a lot of dealerships that do that, and I think that that's kind of a snaky way of doing business. Donovan Short says what's going on with the price is getting very aggravating. I agree. So we're going to actually talk a little bit about the price here in a second because there has been some happenings that have kind of confirmed some pricing, or I don't necessarily want to say confirmed, but have definitely started pointing at pricing and things that I've said in the past that have been basically correct. So we're going to move on to the next bit of information, which is actually for the C8 Corvette, and it is going to be the C8 engine hatch mount option LPO considered. So this is an option that could possibly be making it to the C8 Corvette, and it is an X brace that goes over the engine bay. It's kind of interesting. So this might be something that comes to Chevrolet as an LPO option for the C8 Corvette, not the Z06, but just the base C8, as somewhat of an additional brace for the suspension as well as a little bit of an engine dress up. So as you can see in this picture, it is carbon fiber right next to the actual engine appearance package, which is also carbon fiber, but we get the Jake skull on top of it, and it looks interesting. It gives it a little bit of a Dodge Viper appearance. Richard says, at Frank Smoke, I think GM didn't plan well enough for the pandemic. Absolutely agree. Red Stingray Corvette says, I'm on Les Stanford and Conklin. Oh, okay. So both of them are telling you 2 years for a C8? All right, guys, so we got number 2 on the Super Chat here. Grandpa Barney just donated some money to the Super Chat. So he's number 2 for the night, guys. I appreciate it so much. He says, love your show, brother. Can't wait to drive my Z06. Hurry up and wait. That is, unfortunately, 100% accurate. At this point, we are all waiting. I can't wait to get the car. The car looks freaking fantastic. Every time I see it in person, which I've seen a couple now, it blows my mind how much different that car looks, even though it is mostly the same. It's really hard to explain. If you guys haven't seen one in person yet, you definitely should check it out. Shane says, have they opened the 2023 C8 builder yet? Can't seem to build a regular Stingray. That is open, I believe. If it's not, we're going to go over some of the price increases here in a second, and I'll check it out for you guys. Sam Lopez says, any whispers about exclusive Z06 colors? No, there has been no whispers of that, and that really surprises me. Brian says, are they fixing the water issue with the hood by chance? Are you talking about the water getting into the strut towers? And Amber says, Grandpa Barney, where are you from? That's a good question. Grandpa Barney, where are you from? I like to see a lot of the same names popping up in the chat here, guys. It means that we're building a community, and that's exactly what I want to do here. So the more I see your names, the more I want to know about you, the more I want to engage with you guys. So definitely an awesome idea. All right, so Grandpa Barney from Seattle area. All right, so you're pretty far out there. I'm guessing it's raining there today. That's what it does there a lot, from what I understand. Okay, so this is an option for the C8 Corvette that might be coming soon. This is not for the Z06, like I said. This is a possible LPO considered option. And let me know, what do you guys think of this? What do you think of that? Is that something you would consider? Shoot your comments in the live chat here. Let me know if this is something you would actively put on your car. What's up, Justin? How you doing? All right, so we're going to move on from that. We are now going on to this. We're going to do the Stingray price increase next. Now, for those of you out there waiting for a 2023 C8 Corvette, or even the Z06, but this is specifically for the C8, the price increase is only actually $1,000. So over 2022's model, the 23s only went up $1,000, which is actually pretty impressive because some of the 23s I've seen coming out are going up as much as $3,500 from other manufacturers. So GM's keeping this at $1,000. That's awesome. All right, so number 3, guys, Super Chat, Mike Matarazzo, supporting his favorite channel here again. Yeah, that's true, Mike. So Mike says this will come back to me when your Z comes in, LOL. He's probably right. I'm going to be spending a lot of freaking money on that car. So Mike Matarazzo, number 3 with the Super Chat, guys. Like I said, the Super Chat really helps out the channel. It helps us grow. It helps us maintain anything that we're doing here that you guys like to see. The Super Chats help support it. So I appreciate all you guys out there and your efforts. 11-second Eclipse says that the X brace looks good on the base C8. I agree. I think it's kind of cool. It's definitely a neat option. Whenever we have the options, we all win. So the next thing, like I said, guys, the 2023 C8 Stingray price only increasing by $1,000. As reported, it looks like it went up to $63,195. So that's for the base option car. No Z51, no MagRide, no 3LT. It's just a 1LT non-Z51. Will now cost you $63,195. Now, when this car first came out, you guys may remember, it was $59,995. So we've increased a little over $3,000, but year over year, this is only $1,000 more than it was in 2022, which, like I said, is a lot lower than other manufacturers. Revo asks, would it be better to add the 70th anniversary package to resale for a better value later down the road? I believe it probably would be. Charles says, my Stingray came in last Friday and it was worth the wait. Yeah, the C8 Corvette is a really cool car. Like, if you guys have not ordered one or not tested one out, you should. It's a really neat car, and obviously I'm waiting for the Z06, but I've experienced the C8, and if that's where you want to be, I would definitely recommend it. Shaq says, thanks for always giving us great information and anything on the pricing. Yeah, we are going to talk about the pricing in 1 second. So on the midenginecorvetteforum.com, guys, like I said, the 2023 Corvette price is only increasing by $1,000, which is really awesome. But because of that increase, they were able to put together some possibilities for pricing on the Z06, which is what we're going to talk about in 1 second. For any of you guys who are familiar with the channel, you're going to kind of know we can pull some information from my previous videos, and we've already talked about the price on this channel, and it's very likely still accurate. Yeah, so guys, if you haven't seen the videos yet where I went across country with Josh and some of the guys from Blackout Tinting, I was actually driving an orange C8 Corvette. You can actually rent that on Turo if you're in the Pennsylvania, Maryland, DC area. You can rent that car. I will add it to the description of this video once it is done, unless you want to post it up here, Justin. Post it in the chat. If you guys are interested in renting this car from Turo, you can do it from the same person I rented it from, and it's a really cool option. It's really neat to be able to jump into that car and go experience it before you throw down some money on buying one. So anyway, guys, that's the price here is a 1.7% increase over last year's options, and that, like I said, really cool for anybody waiting for a 2023 C8 Corvette. So next we're going to jump into the pricing for the Z06. So the 2023 price for the Z06, this is an estimate. Now, if you guys are familiar with the channel, you're going to know I did a video on this not too long ago talking about I had 2 different salesmen from GM confirming the price for me on a Z06, and it was right around $89,995. I said with the latest inflation and stuff, we might be looking at closer to 92, but we're going to be between 89 and 92 if I had to guess, and this pricing estimate falls right in there again. Frank Smoke says, I think the price of the Z06 is not out yet because the car is not even ready to be built. That's why they won't allow anybody to drive and test the car yet. That is partially true. So there is actually a bigger reason is the car, not so much that the car hasn't been built, but the cars that are built, that are running around right now, are actually not ready to be tested. So they're actually captured test fleet vehicles, or even I think they're before the captured test fleet, which is totally a test car. So it's literally for GM to torture test. And with that said, if you were to get behind the wheel and you got hurt by something in that car, you could literally sue GM for allowing that car to be driven. All right, guys, so Larry Anthony, he is number 4 with the Super Chat today. I really appreciate this, Larry. Thank you so much. He says he is a subscriber with a C8 who wanted to say thanks. Happy number 11 on my dealer's Z06 list. That's awesome, Larry. Thank you so much for that. That's really going to help support the channel in the future. I appreciate it way more than I can possibly say over the live video here, but thank you so much. He's number 11 on his dealer. What dealer are you with, Larry? Is it, if it's a big dealer, you may actually get one year one. That's great to hear. Brian says that he thinks GM is personally changing the prices consistently or constantly because of inflation. I think you're right. Inflation definitely has a big part in why we haven't heard anything about the pricing on this yet. But let's keep going here. For the bumper and headlights, my dealer here in Vancouver says $167,000 for the Z06 with 3LZ. Jixer, that actually adds pretty closely to what I'm saying. So the car is going to likely start at $89,995 before options. For a fully loaded 3LZ Z06, you're looking at between $150 and $160 if I had to guess. And yes, there is a huge chip shortage. That's the biggest reason why we're getting these delays. And yeah, Richard says these are great prices, but getting one at that price is going to be tough, and it's going to require a wait unless you overpay. You are 100% correct. So if you don't want to wait, you're going to overpay. If you are okay waiting, I can get you with a dealership that will get you the car eventually at MSRP. Jack D says crushers. That's right. The cars that are running around out there, just like this beautiful yellow one on the camera or on the screen here right now, that one will be crushed. That is not going to be a car that any customer will ever be able to drive. Auto Domination says, thank you very much for what you are doing to keep us informed. You're very welcome. Thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate it. If you could, guys, hit that thumbs up button. Like I said, it really helps the channel. It really helps circulate this around YouTube so as many people see it as possible. I'd greatly appreciate it. It really, 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 really helps. It's just a click. Just hit that thumbs up. It's totally free. Cali Native says, currently number 28 at my dealership with a 10K markup. That's unfortunate, but you're still pretty high on the list, so if you're okay with that. Bull Run, what's up, man? Thanks for tuning in. It's so awesome to see you guys on here. I appreciate it so much. For what consumers are getting, the C8 and the Z06 are still underpriced. Come on, GM, stop teasing us, and let's at least get prices and build sheets out already. Yeah, so that's another thing. I am very, very confident that the prices that we're talking about today are going to be the prices that GM delivers us here shortly. Now, the thing with all this is, guys, we're going to read down through this in a second, but apparently Taj and some of the guys at GM officially said that we're not getting the pricing of the Z06 or the build sheet with the 2023 C8 Corvette update. Instead, it's going to come closer to quote-unquote summer. So we know when summer officially starts, so we shouldn't be very far away, but I really thought we were going to get these right around the same time as the C8. Yeah, eventually. Front Seat Driver's on here, guys. So everybody say hi to Jason. He's got a YouTube channel called Front Seat Driver. Really, really cool dude. Awesome channel. If you guys have a minute, you should check him out after you're done watching the live video here. Definitely check out his channel. He's a cool dude. He has an awesome yellow Z06. Kind of like, well, it's kind of like the one we're looking at here, but it's a generation earlier. Jixer says, how were they able to sell the $3 million one yen? So if you guys don't know, the Z06 sold for $3 million at, well, $3.6 million at the Barrett-Jackson auction. And they didn't actually sell that car. So the one we're actually looking at here on the screen is the same one that was at Barrett-Jackson. That was just there as a placeholder. So The $3.6 million price tag he paid is just to get VIN number 1. So basically he'll have the first car off of the assembly line once they start building them, which they haven't yet. So he doesn't actually have a car yet. 11-second Eclipse says they should put it in a museum instead of crushing it. I totally agree. Apparently it's a legal thing that they have to actually crush the cars, but I agree they shouldn't completely destroy them. They should do something else with them, but G. Smith says that there's people paying over 10K over sticker. WTF? Yeah. 10K over sticker is nothing. I have heard as much as 200,000 over MSRP for this car. So people are going to pay it. Dealerships are going to charge it. Jixter says he's dying to see the ZR1. So am I. I mean, if the Z06 looks this good and sounds this good, I can only imagine what the ZR1's going to sound like. It's going to be freaking nuts. Frank Smoke says that's nothing. I'm number 1 on the list with the 30K markup. Okay. So, Frank, you're going to get that car pretty much right off the bat, but yeah, you're definitely paying a little bit of a markup. You're very welcome, Jason. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you guys taking time out of your day. I really do. I know you're probably one of the busiest guys I'm friends with, so I know how it is for you, and I appreciate you carving out some time to show me some support, so I will always show it right back. Richard says, will they ever unlock the tuning on the C8 lineup? I highly doubt it. I really don't think it's ever going to happen. What they're doing now is some sort of piggybacking with the ECU and stuff. I think that's going to be the best we're ever going to get with the C8 Corvette. Shaq says, I'm number 185 at my dealership in Duluth, Georgia. 185, that puts you at probably 2 to 3 years out. And Ralph Cruz, guys, number 5 on the Super Chat tonight comes from Ralph Cruz, absolutely dominating it. Thank you so much, Ralph. I appreciate that. That is unbelievable. Thank you so much. He says, what does the 70th anniversary edition leave you when I go to Click Lewis and order my C8 70th Let's Do Lunch? Absolutely, Ralph. You let me know when you're going to do that. I will definitely be there. You have supported this channel in so many ways it's not even funny. So you let me know. We will be there. What does the 70th anniversary edition give you? So the 70th anniversary edition is going to give you a couple different things. It's going to give you the access to different wheels, access to a different exhaust tip color, and access to 2 different exterior colors that you can't get on the base C8. So one is a pearl white and the other one is a carbon flash black. So if you want a semi-rare car, the 70th anniversary might be the way to go. It doesn't give you any extra power or anything like that, but it is going to change the appearance quite a bit. Drip says, Justin, do you still have your black diamond wheels from when your C8 Corvette sold? No, I don't. They actually sold with the car. Why do you ask, though? Jerome wants to know what they're crushing. So GM will crush all of the Z06s that we have seen. So this yellow one we're looking at, the red one that's making its way around the dealerships right now, they will all be crushed because they are test cars. They are legally not allowed to sell any parts off of them, or the car in general cannot be sold. It's got to be crushed and totally destroyed. What's up, Brian? Thanks for tuning in, man. Donovan wants to know, how are the guys on the dealer tour able to drive them? They literally drive them from the inside of the dealership to the outside and onto a trailer. They're not driving them any distances. And even then, they are given very specific instructions to not rev that car over 3,000 RPM. They're not allowed to really get on it. They're not allowed to do those things. And that's probably for a couple different reasons, but the biggest one is for safety. If something is wrong with that car that they haven't found out yet, they don't want anybody getting injured or anything like that. Jixter says, when Lambo switched Gallardo to Huracan, there was a 100K over sticker wait list. Yeah, that's the thing. Jixter brings up a great point, guys. Anytime a company changes a car, especially when it's this radical, when it's from a front-engine car to a mid-engine car, and it is much more appealing to a lot of the younger generation and stuff for the first time, there is going to be a markup. There's going to be a shortage, there's going to be a markup, and there's going to be a huge hype and a huge demand. This is not anything out of the normal. I remember when the C7 Corvette first came out, it wasn't quite this bad, But this did still exist. There was a lot of people paying over MSRP, and there was a lot of just overall difficulty getting that car. Shaq says, you are absolutely awesome with giving us amazing information. Thank you, Shaq. I agree, or I appreciate that. And I honestly love doing this. So, I mean, if you guys love watching it, I will do them as often as I possibly can because I love chatting with you guys about this car because I'm in love with it as much as you guys are. I can't wait to see it. I love the C8 Corvette in general. I feel like every time this Z06 gets delayed or pushed back, I kind of regret selling mine as early as I did because I miss it, but it is what it is, I guess. Front seat driver says, love your info and friendship above all else. Absolutely, Jason. Thank you for tuning in again. I appreciate it, like I said. What's going on, Andrew? Thanks for tuning in. That's awesome. We got guys from all over the place tuning in here, guys. Vertus Johnson says, I heard 70th anniversary won't be unlimited. What do you mean? I'm not sure what you mean by that. They should be in a museum. I agree. All right, so guys, Frank Smoke with the number 6 super chat of the day. Thank you again, Frank. I appreciate you tuning in and supporting the channel in this way. He says, I only follow you and Ricky in YouTube. The rest of YouTubers are only copying and spreading misinformation. I unsubscribe from all of them. Unfortunately, Frank, you are correct. And there's a lot of them out there. I try to only give information that I've found confirmed on more than one website. Otherwise, it's just spreading misinformation, and a lot of them do, unfortunately, do that. Ralph, the 70th anniversary gives you unique wheels, edge red lip stripe, two-tone white, black seats with red stitching. Oh, man, I'm falling behind in this chat, guys. I apologize. What did I miss? So, KD, we talked a little bit about, let's go through, we're going to recap real quick, guys. We talked about this Z06 front bumper being for sale somehow. Somebody was able to get this off of an actual Z06. It was a subscriber of mine. He emailed me first about it and wanted to know if I wanted to buy it. I offered $2,000, and apparently that was way less than what he actually paid for it. So I told him to send the message over to Corvette Blogger and get on their list. And sure enough, here it is. It's pretty neat looking. It's got a lot of exposed carbon fiber accents, but there's no price listed here. It's just kind of a nice read and something to look at while you're waiting for the Z06. The next thing was a kind of an X brace for the base C8 Corvette that looks kind of cool. It's mostly an engine dress-up part, but I guess it also kind of helps with the suspension a little bit. That might be something offered as an LPO option in the future. The 2023 Stingray price only increases by $1,000 over the price of the 2022s, which is really good because that means that it is much lower than other manufacturers that have gone up over $3,000 year over year. And then ultimately we are here talking about the Z06 and its price. It is very likely to be around $89,995 before options, and it's probably going to max out between $150 and $160 with all options checked. Now, they on the C8 or on the mid-engine Corvette forum.com, they actually talk a little bit about this, and they go over their reasoning for believing that it's going to be right around this price. But this is something that I've been talking about on my channel now for about 4 months. I've been discussing this price because I had some inside information from 2 different dealerships that have confirmed to me that the price was going to be right around $89,995. That is, of course, before any kind of inflation is calculated. So with that on there, I'm thinking it's going to be right around $92 or less. So we can kind of read what's on the screen here, guys, but basically Taj said that the rough price differential between the C7 Stingray and the C7 Z06 is a good reference point for the C8 Z06's pricing. Now, this comes straight from Taj. So again, guys, you want to read this part right here. This is straight from Taj. The rough price differential between the C7 Stingray, C7 Z06 is a good reference point for the C8 Z06's pricing. Now, I made a video on this, and that video actually blew up. It did really well because a lot of people agree that's how the pricing is going to work. If that's the case, then we are looking at exactly $89,995 when that car comes out. Taj basically confirms it right there. So with that said, you can basically take it to the bank. The car is going to be about $90,000 before options. Now, after options, it's going to be right around $150,000. Now, again, guys, I'm gonna put that video in the description below once this video is live or not live anymore, because I want you to see that I've been talking about that price for the last 4 months, well before Taj confirmed any of this, because GM follows suit with all of their launch stuff. Every time they launch a new car, they're following the previous generation launch pattern. And the pricing, the options, the launch schedules can almost always be set to the previous generation. It's going to be almost exactly the same all the time. So it's easy to estimate these prices like this whenever they're always the same. So $89,995 is very likely the price. And like I said, I had 2 different dealerships confirm this for me, but now even the Mid-Engine Corvette Forum and Taj himself are basically confirming it. Mark Gabello says hi from PA, USA. Hello, Mark. I'm actually in Florida today, but I'm normally from PA. Amber says she hears blackout peeps in the background. Yeah, they're all here. All right, guys, so number 6 on the Super Chat today is actually blackout tinting. Josh is in the back here. We are here at Blackout Tinting in Miami, and Josh is in the back doing some blackout tinting work. But he managed to find a time to donate Super Chat, which is freaking fantastic. I appreciate you guys donating so much. You have no idea how much it helps the channel. Thank you all so much for the support. Josh says, we love your content. These lives are great for getting everyone's questions answered. Keep it up. I appreciate that, Josh. Thank you very much. Larry Anthony says, don't want to jinx my placement. I'm from LA, and my dealer is one of the largest in this area. Ah, okay. And he retracted it, but that's okay, Larry. I appreciate it. If you want to just email me, Larry, that's fine too. I won't give out any of your information. I'm just curious. If you are interested in emailing me and having more of a discussion privately, you can do that at horse.power.obsessed@gmail.com. All right, guys, KD, number 7 on the Super Chat list. KD donates to help out the channel, and he gives me a little bit of a jumping controller animation. I love it. So, guys, again, thank you so much. You have donated... I can't, words can't even explain it. You guys are helping out the channel so much. I appreciate it. It's unbelievable. Jixer says he doesn't want a convertible. He wants to see the engine. I totally agree. I'm more of an engine seeing kind of guy myself. I'm trying to get to the bottom of the chat here, guys, so just bear with me 1 second. Tom says, I think we met at the Latrobe store. How are you? I'm good, Tom. I don't recall if we met at the store. If you want to tell me specifics about how we met, I can maybe remember you at that point, but I'm not sure if that's even your real name there. Dave says, how do I get on the Corvette Blogger forum because I have a Lamborghini door hinge kit for sale? Dave, you'd want to go to the CorvetteBlogger.com. You can actually scroll down to the bottom and you can hit contact. If they feel like it's something they want to post and run with, they will. Basie says, still hoping that hybrid of a LT6 will be made, ZR1 or whatever. I don't think the LT6 is going to be made in anything else. Chevy's already said that the LT6 engine is going to be 100% just for the Z06, so it's not going to make its way into any other car. Amber is number 7 with the Super Chat today, guys. Again, huge support for the channel. I love it. She says, great channel. Thank you for all the accurate info. Hi, Renee, Josh, and Patrick. I will make sure that they hear your hellos. Thank you, Amber, for supporting the channel and your husband. Kevin says, if you not take the Z07 package, can we choose the high wing? I don't think so, Kevin. So I think that high wing only comes on the Z07 package. It's very unlikely from GM that you'll be able to make that choice, but you can always add it aftermarket. Patrick's on here. Apple and RC. Yeah, that's Patrick. Hi, Patrick. Bowling Green native here from Tommy Maples. Tommy, we might just be coming into your area next, so stay tuned. Kevin says, so if a dealer sells 100 Corvettes a year, any guesses on how many Z06s they will get? There is a percentage of Corvettes, so if it's specifically C8s. If they sell 100 C8s, there's a percentage of that 100 that they will get with Z06s. If I had to guess, I'm going to say it's 10%, maybe 20 at most. So you're looking at 10 to 20 cars. I think that that's actually high. So even if they do say that that's the percentages, I don't think you'll actually see that many popping up. So Z06 will go up similar to C7 Stingray to Z06. How about options and trims for the C8 Z06? Probably similar. Yes. So Daniel, I made a video about this. I will put it in the description of this video after it's not live anymore if you can't find it on the channel. But I went over all of the pricing details from the C7 to the C7 Z06 and how they're probably going to be very similar to the C8 to the C8 Z06. The pricing of the options, of the base cars, it's all going to be right around the same, and Taj himself has confirmed that that is going to be the case. So you're looking at $89,995 before options, and if they want to add any kind of inflation in there, you're probably looking at another $1,000 to $2,000, so probably right around $92 at absolute most. Frank Smoke says, I believe we're going to see the C8 Z06 at the end of September, not summer like GM promised. So GM actually did not promise we would see the car before summer. They promised that the car would be able to be ordered by summer. So I think the ordering process and when we were going to see the car, of course, are two different things. But I do believe September, October timeframe for delivery myself. All right, guys, I'm going to go through a little bit more of the options here. Like I said, Taj has confirmed this pricing right here. So the $89,995 is a good reference point, he says. So if we're talking the difference of $1,000 or $2,000 for some inflation, that's possible, but we have a really good idea what that price is now, and it's basically been confirmed by GM, even though I've been talking about the same pricing for about the last 4 months. So moving on, though, guys, the last one is going to be about the Z06 again, but this is where a lot of this information came from, and it was actually at the Sebring Corvette, or it was the Sebring Corvette team presentation. A lot of it was filmed and put on the MidEngineCorvetteForum.com, and they talked about a lot of the availability for the C8 Z06, and this one by Harlan himself says that the C8 Z06 allocations will be out later this summer. Yeah, later this summer. So summer officially starts in June, I believe, and he's saying later this summer. So it doesn't necessarily have to be the first day of summer either. If we're not getting allocation info until late June, early July, you're looking at the first cars arriving at the absolute earliest, probably at the end of August, early September. So again, this information's coming straight from Harlan, straight from the guys at GM, straight from the people who are in the know. This isn't guessing at this point. They're flat out saying this stuff. Now, the last bit came from Taj, talking about the confirmation of the price of the Z06. This is coming from Harlan, saying allocations are coming later this summer. Obviously, we are not getting the allocation info for the Z06 at the same time we're getting it for the 2023 C8. It's coming later. So there's a lot of information to read over here, guys. I'm not going to read all of this to you because you can just head over to the MidEngineCorvetteForum.com and read a lot of this. I just want to touch on some of the more bold points. Another one here is they're talking about the Z07 Corvette package and the fact that the downforce is 734 pounds at 186 miles per hour. So this 186 pops up a lot, and this is kind of concerning to me because that is also the top speed of the non-Z51 C8 Corvette. I really felt like the Z06 would have a higher top speed, but that number keeps coming up. I don't know if they're posting that on purpose, trying to throw you off on what the top speed will actually be, or if this car's top speed is still only 186. That would be kind of disappointing if you ask me. So let's see what we got here, guys. I'm going to look over some of the comments. Front Seats Driver says he's got to go upstairs to work. I'm behind as usual. Great info as always. I'll talk to you tomorrow. All right, Jason, thanks. You're probably already gone, but thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. I appreciate the support. Shane says, Justin, just a reminder, the National Corvette Museum batch is filling up fast. I bought tickets and they were close to number 900 with only 1,500 slots, just in case anyone is interested. Shane, I do plan on going, and actually I need to get in contact with them. I do plan on being there. So if you're there as well, definitely look for me. I'm probably going to bring my ZR1. Anyone know if they're testing this at the Z06 at the Nürburgring? They have tested it there a bunch of times already. Actually, this picture right here is from them testing it at the Nürburgring. I don't know if they're there now. I do believe they were heading over there again. So they probably are there now. GM rep told me 35% for Z06, 100 allocations should get 35 Z06s. Larry says that seems high to me, but even if that is true, it's still going to be limited based on how many cars can actually be produced with the chip shortage and part shortage and all that stuff. So as you guys know, the GM plant, I think, is actually reopening tomorrow, but it is currently closed because of part shortages. Donovan says, I'm number 5 on the Z06 list at a small dealership in New Orleans, but this is the only dealership in New Orleans. Do you think I'll see one this year? Number 5 that might get you one this year, I'll be honest. Depends on how small the dealership is, but it probably will get you one. People are going to be furious if the Z06 tops out at a sub 200 miles per hour. I agree. That's why I don't understand why I keep seeing this 186 miles per hour number. I'm assuming it's a placeholder from GM until they know the actual number. Felix asked me, when do I think the C8 2023 will be arriving? Are you talking about just the base C8 or the Z06? I think the base C8 2023s will probably be showing up around July or August. I think the C8 Z06s will be showing up probably around late August to September, possibly October. But guys, that's pretty much it. Yeah, there's not a whole lot else here. If you want to look through the details, there's a bunch to see here on the midenginecorvetteforum.com and, of course, the corvetteblogger.com, where most of the information comes out from. But, yeah, Larry says that the vet plant is closed due to transmission issues. They are having problems getting parts, so it could be for the transmission. Michael Matarazzo says number 5 is very late, first year at best. So you'll probably will be first year, depending on the size of the dealership, but it's going to be later. Cyclone asks, how much is the Z07 package? If you want to go back and check my videos, Cyclone, I actually made a C8 Z06 pricing video that goes over how much all that stuff's going to likely be. And I talk about the total price of the Z06. But that looks like about it, guys. So, what other questions do you guys have? Let me know on the chat here what kind of questions you might have for me, because I am still interested in talking about the car. If you guys want to discuss it some more, some pricing options, whatever you want to hear, let me know in the chat down below. While you're there, smash that thumbs up button. Let me know you're liking the content so I can keep creating this stuff for you guys. I love talking about it. I love talking to all you. I see a lot of the same names showing up in the chat area here, and that's awesome. That just tells me that you guys are liking the community, and that's what I'm trying to build here, is a community of people who are as crazy about Corvettes as I am. So I love that I see the same names popping up here from time to time. So yeah, what other questions do you guys have about the C8? I'm gonna flip this back around here, show you a little bit more of the Corvette stuff, just because you guys probably would rather see a picture of the Z06 than my face. But let's see what we got here. Comment section says, $10K. Yeah. So Mike Monterazzo says it's going to be probably about $10K for the Z07 package. I am in agreement. I think it will be right around there too. Revo says, great live streaming today. Thanks for sharing some info. You're very welcome, Revo. Thank you for tuning in. Jack D says, great video. Thanks. You're very welcome, guys. I appreciate all of you tuning in. Please smash that thumbs up button if you could before you leave, if you're going to leave. We're not quite done with the video yet, but if you guys have any other questions, I will feel free to ask. I will definitely answer. If you guys are kind of done with questions, we can start wrapping this up. You let me know how you guys want to handle it. Any idea what the top speed for the Stingray with low profile spoiler? Yes, so if it's a non Z51, the top speed is, I believe, 196, 194. CK Williams says, got my spot reserved. I'm number 7 on the list, just waiting on getting to put my package together. Yeah, so that's the thing, guys. Right now, if you want the C8 Z06, you cannot officially order one yet. I know there's a couple YouTubers out there that have showed that they went to the dealership and placed their order. You can't do that. So that's all clickbait. It's not true. You are not able to order this car yet. Until GM literally gives official allocation info and official price info, official part or options info, you are not going to be able to order this car. So anybody who's told you that they've ordered it already, they're lying. You cannot do that. Yeah, Andrew correcting me at 196. That's what I thought. Thank you, Andrew. This is why I love building the community, guys. You know, all these numbers circling in my head, and sometimes I forget or I'm confused what the number for the top speed without Z51 is. You guys are on it, though. I love it. Yeah, Andrew, that's basically the one I'm referring to. There's actually one other one that did the same thing, though, and you cannot order that car yet. So that is not possible. Scott says, Justin, I'm wondering, base C8 versus base Z06, what justifies an extra $30K other than standard mag ride, GT seats, and heavy-duty transmission? So, Scott, the big thing with those cars, the big one with the Z06 especially, is that it's a totally different engine. So, you're getting an engine that is literally built for the Z06 that will never be in another car other than the Z06. So, right off the bat, you have a higher horsepower engine. You have a beefier suspension, more track-tuned aerodynamics, better cooling for track use, different wheel options, and bigger brakes and rotors, or calipers and rotors. So 30K sounds like a lot, but if you think about the price, especially base for base, if you think about the price difference in just a larger rotor, just a larger disc, you're probably talking about $3 to $4 grand just based on the larger discs, plus larger calipers, larger wheels, larger tires. You got to also remember that a lot of these tires are specifically designed for the Corvette. So you got to factor in the price of that, all the extra aerodynamics. Even the base C8 Z06 is going to have a bigger front splitter than the base C8 does. It's going to have a different, more aggressive rear end, more cooling, a different spoiler, all these different things for aggressive aero and suspension setups. And of course, like I said, you can't discount that engine. It's a flat plane crank, 5.5 liter, naturally aspirated, 670 horsepower that GM has flat out said no other manufacturer makes an engine like this. So you're getting something pretty special for that extra 30K. Red Stingray says, you always have great information, man. Love it. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. I try to make this channel more so about actual information, like cutting edge or bleeding edge information, we'll say, because I want to bring it to you as early as I can, but I don't want to give you false information. I don't want to give you something that's just made up. This has to be something that I've confirmed at least on 2 different sources before I even bother talking to you guys about it. Trust me, I want to get on here and talk to you about every single leak possible, but at the same time, I want to make sure that you know that if you're seeing it here, it's credible, and that you're not just seeing any garbage that the internet has to put out. Is the E-Ray going to have a quicker 0 to 60 than the Z06? Yes. So based on what I've seen, the E-Ray is going to be slightly faster to 60, but overall slower past 60. So the Z06 will be faster past 60 than the E-Ray, but E-Ray will likely get up to 60 quicker because it's probably going to also be all-wheel drive. Donovan says that he appreciates the videos, man. He's going to send me some videos of his whenever he's gapping people with his Z06. I appreciate it. I definitely want to see those videos, by the way. Andrew says he really wants the E-Ray. Jerome asks, will the ZR1 be hybrid? I don't actually think it's going to be called a ZR1. I think it's going to be called a Zora. And it's definitely going to either be hybrid or fully electric. But guys, I think that's going to do it for today's video. I think we're going to start wrapping this thing up. So if you guys don't have any further questions, I think we're going to kind of cut this one off. So I really appreciate all you guys tuning in. I appreciate the donations tonight. You guys are really helping, supporting the channel. One last time, if you could, smash that thumbs up button. Let me know you're liking the content so I can keep doing this stuff for you guys. When you hit that thumbs up button, YouTube knows you're liking it, and that's a big, big game changer. So smash thumbs up. I will catch you guys in the next upload. I'm going to try to do a live one every, at least once a week. So stay tuned for those, guys, coming soon. But thank you again for tuning in. One last time, thumbs up. I'll catch you guys next time.